What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for First Strike on Chain of Ascension, the weekly mutation number 2. Brian, let's hear the mutation.
Chain of Ascension is the map where we aid Janara as she fights Amon's champion. To support her, each player needs to stand a guy near and push her along the track to the southeast corner. If we push the fight all the way there, we win. But if Amon's forces support their champion and push them all the way to our corner, we lose. Your units have shorter vision and attack range. Enemies have longer range, and a laser drill in the far east enemy base will shoot anything that it sees. It rebuilds when wrecked.
Yeah, it does rebuild. When when First Strike first came on as weekly mutation number 2, you could just destroy the laser drill and not have to worry about it anymore. Now it's been patched since then that it gets rebuilt, but it was fun back then. Anyway, we have Twotuuu and Sticksbender to call with us today. How are you guys?
Good.
Great. That makes all three of us. I'm also great, doing great. Yeah. So Sticksbender is returning after a long hiatus. How will we rank the commanders this week?
Let's see. So for this one, you have the main concerns are the fact that the laser drill gets vision from Janara and her friend in the middle.
Friend, yes, that's one way to put it.
Depending on how you like to look at it, you could either say Janara is giving vision because you hate Janara, or you could say it's definitely her friend in the middle. Yes, that's definitely the enemy who's actually making the laser drill kill you.
Yeah.
Short-sighted is annoying. Long range can be a problem against some enemy compositions. It's mostly a matter of, the biggest concerns are bleeding units due to having to face check enemies before you can actually fight them, and then bleeding units due to needing to push Janara while being hit by the laser drill, unless you have already cleared out the laser drill. Which means that you're going to want to either have people who have a lot of bodies to bleed, or else you want to have people who can abuse cloaked units to not have to worry about getting hit.
Yeah.
Or you want to have someone who can just easily clear the laser drill. There's lots of options, though.
Many options. All right. How about you, Twotuuu?
So it's about being able to push Janara without losses. Fortunately, there are two of you and there's only one laser. So if your allies getting hit, then you don't have to lose anything. Also, note that the bottom, I guess it's the player 1's expo, will probably get attacked by the third set of hybrids due to long range.
Oh yeah, annoying.
It's really annoying. But yeah, it's not difficult, it's just annoying, this mutation.
Okay, let's begin. Zeratul, where do we have him?
All right, we're doing everything backwards today. So Zeratul, he does have cloaked units that can push the laser drill. He's also, or push Janara without getting hit by the laser drill. He also can snipe the laser drill, because Zeratul's hero unit is actually very strong and very mobile around the map. He can always just go clear out the laser drill if he needs to, which is helpful. He, however, is not very good with the whole face checking damage thing.
What?
So
cannons
as a result,
are good, aren't they? Cannons are good, aren't they?
Cannons are okay. They don't actually have that much durability when they're winding up, but they're good. They're good. Basically cannons are good, is the summary.
Letter.
Let's see. I would say Zeratul's probably going to be having a pretty easy time here. It's an easy mutation, and it's literally Zeratul. You'll probably want to make either Dark Templar or Immortals to have tankiness, I would think, but cannons are also an option. Either way, yeah, probably A.
All right, Twotuuu, did you mind?
No, I didn't try this.
Oh, you didn't try. All right, that's fair.
I tried, but I didn't. I failed,
Succeed.
and I didn't try again.
That's
I forgot
fine.
why.
That's fine. All right.
This one, I also put him in A because he has cannons, and as long as you project one cannon, it tanks the laser for a bit, and Zeratul himself is invisible. You can also have the observers, which give you more vision, and you can put the void array over the laser, and it won't be able to shoot it, and then you just go there when it respawns and kill it, and then go back to work.
That sounds fun. Okay, so both of you had him in A. Let's put him in A. Actually, I have an S, but A is fine. Zagara, where do we have him?
Zagara, this is for P1. This is the mutation for P1.
Well, one of them.
When you have the Zergling evasion, you will dodge half the laser shots, and the laser will keep switching targets, and means it won't be able to ramp up damage, and you can basically because you're mostly melee anyways, so you just run into the enemy. And if they have AoE, that's I mean you lose more than usual, but you'll have more than enough to clear pretty much everything. And you just F2A everywhere.
Yeah.
So I put Zagara on S.
Yeah. How about you, Sticksbender?
Pretty much, you don't have to worry about losing stuff. Zergling evasion is great, although it doesn't make the laser drill retarget. Like when the Zergling evades, it doesn't retarget the laser drill, but it's literally a Zergling, so who cares? So, yeah, S tier makes sense for Zagara. It should be relatively easy. You won't get to see what's happening too terribly well because of short-sighted, but you'll see explosions and then everything will be dead.
All right, let's put Zagara in S with one caveat from me. Watch out for Corsairs. Let's move on. Vorazun, where do we have him?
All right, Vorazun. Let's see. So Vorazun actually has a bit of trouble with short-sighted generally, even though you have cloaked units to push Jinara. So on Chain of Ascension, Amon doesn't have as much detection as on other maps, when he's specifically Terran at least. With Zerg, there's a little bit less in the bases. With Protoss, there's a little bit less in the bases, but the attack waves like to send observers and overseers. It's just Terran where they just don't even like to send detection in the attack waves, which is nice.
They said nukes though.
Yeah, they sent nukes, but yeah. Let's see. So you will probably end up just wanting to. I'm not even sure what composition I'd want to take here.
Dark Templar Corsair like usual.
Dark Templar Corsair is probably fine. Short-sighted is just a huge pain in the butt.
It is.
Other than that, honestly, laser drill isn't too bad. You're going to be leaving detection areas pretty frequently anyways, so you'll be not getting hit for too prolonged of a period by the laser drill.
Yes.
So.
Letter.
B, I guess, even though realistically everyone could be A tier because it's an easy mutation.
That's true. How about you, Twotuuu?
Same B. It's DT Corsair, and I think I used the third time stop. I think I used the third time stop and I cleared the laser area and then I camped it. So after that, the laser's just not an issue anymore.
Yeah.
So you just because Vorazun floats lots of minerals, so you have tons of money for cannons, and then they will be cloaked, and the dark pylon next to the laser can't get hit. So you pretty much only have to go back when an attack wave spawns there. Yeah. So B.
All right. I actually had her in A because time stop does just clear everything once you get to the later stages. But B is fine. Let's put her in B. Vorazun is 1 prestige, Keeper of Shadows. Let's move on. Tychus, where do we have him?
Tychus, he's actually not that good for once. He's not that good because laser is really annoying. And short-sighted also reduces his effectiveness. So it's like if you're using Lone Wolf, you're gonna be hit by the laser, and you can't really hit. You can't hit because you can't see anything. So I use P0, and even with P0, it's kind of hard because you only have 5 units, and as long as the enemies are not dead, your one guy's gonna keep getting hit, and the laser will get stronger and stronger, and eventually you're gonna have to medevac out. Or Yes. I put Tychus in C.
Okay. How about you, Sticksbender?
Yeah, that about sums it up. Tychus is going to not love the laser drill at all. He does not like short-sighted because he's not you have your tank outlaws who can run in there and nuzzle enemies, but the problem is that you don't really want to be nuzzling enemies either way.
You need vision to use your abilities.
Well, because the problem is because you take your tank outlaws, you nuzzle the enemy, and then the laser drill ramps up, and then you die anyways. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of having to medevac out. It's not that bad, at the end of the day, because you still have you can big red button clear areas. You can put laser cannonball in front and let people deal damage, and then just make sure you're not fighting without a medevac charge. But either way, probably B tier. Could be C tier. I don't think anyone needs to go in C tier.
All right, what do you think, Twotuuu? B tier is fine?
I feel like he struggles more. So I don't have anyone below C, but I think at least he'll do his job, but then you kind of need someone to tank the laser shots for you, because if you're fighting with someone, then you're not going to be getting hit by the laser. So yeah, but then you kind of that depends on whether you are moving together with your ally or not. And then if you run out of medevac charges, especially if you're not hasty and trying to not take too much damage, and you use up your charges too quickly, then you will not have a way to out sometimes, and that might lead to trouble. I think compared to like the current B, there's a lot more stress worrying about losing an outlaw, which is like a lot of your power every time.
Okay. So what do you think, Sticksbender? Are you convinced about C?
No. Or yes, I mean, sorry, I'm not. Sorry, for some reason my brain triggered as like you were asking if I was like convicted in putting him into B tier. No, he can be in C.
You're just you just instinctively say no every time you're asked a yes/no question. I don't know. Perhaps. Hey, that's not the knee-jerk response. Anyway, okay, let's put Tychus in C tier. By the way, I also had him in C tier. I have him independently. I did have him in C. Because he does get really annoyed by the short-sighted, mostly short-sighted, but the laser really make it extra annoying. Prestige-wise, we want no prestige here?
I think no prestige. If you use P1, you're not going to have a third outlaw by the 7 minutes. So I think P0 is better.
All right, let's move on. Swann, where do we have him?
My laser drill's better than your laser drill.
That's true. That is a fact.
Yes. Well, sort of. So Amon's laser drill obviously has the ramping damage as it continues firing, unlike Swann's laser drill. However, the counterpoint to that is that, Swann gets to upgrade his laser drill to just start dealing more damage right from the start of firing.
Also,
so
top
that's better, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. Basically, you will probably want to. You'll probably want to be using turrets. You'll have turrets to defend. You'll probably want to just push with Goliath, to be honest. I think you just want to use Mass Goliath here as Swann. Yes, Goliaths usually rely on higher range, and they're not going to be happy with the less range, but you can use floating factories to get vision, so your Goliaths don't have to worry as much about short-sighted. And they're just kind of a general purpose A-move unit, and that's kind of what I feel like you would want here. You'll also want to use floating factories to tank the laser drill when pushing Janara. So you'll have a floating factory over Janara, make sure it gets laser drill aggro first, and then you push Janara. You can keep a bunch of SCVs repairing the factory, and that will actually the SCVs will push Janara for you too, so you don't even need your army to do it.
Pretty good.
And if you end up leaving an enemy like random structure somewhere, like a random supply depot or something, then what you could do is if you can get a factory next to that with laser drill aggro, your factory won't be able to see the supply depot because you have short-sighted, so your laser drill won't aggro on it, but the enemy will be able to see you, so the enemy laser drill will keep hitting your factory, and if you just have a nice group hug of SCVs, you can just out-repair the laser drill, and it's free to repair for Swann, so you can just turn off the laser drill for the rest of the mission.
Yeah, effectively nullifying that, as long as the laser drill retains vision of the factory.
Regardless of what you do, you are going to have to worry about unfortunately, that you're going to be heavily inconvenienced by short-sighted, yeah. But despite that, Swann's probably fine. So I think he's probably B.
One again, yeah.
Hooray, one.
How about you, Twotuuu?
P0 has concentrated beam, which clears the center. 4 concentrated beams will clear everything in the middle, and that makes your life so much easier. And I don't think you should use Goliath. I think you should just use Wraiths because they fly.
I agree.
And half the enemies can't hit you. And then for all the hybrid bosses, you teleport a Herc and you pulse cannon, and most of the enemies are dead. They will be dead, and you just fly whatever is left and finish them off. And the factory thing, yeah, you can do that too. So I also put Swann in B.
Hey, there we go. But I also have put Swann in B. So it's unanimous B after all, regardless of the strategy. Prestige-wise, you want no prestige?
0.
Do you agree, Sticksbender?
Yeah, I can actually kind of agree with that. There's an argument for P2 because the reality is you just don't get gas starved with most compositions on Swann. But yeah,
all right,
probably wrong.
Cool. Let's move on. Stukov, where do we have him?
P3, make zombies, and
what mutation?
Yeah, exactly.
What mutation?
Although you probably should still add tanks. You can also add queens for the symbiote if you want. You don't have to, and you can walk your barracks so you can use infest structure to tank more shots. But you don't really care if your dudes die. So yeah, S.
What do you mean if? When? S. How about you, Sticksbender?
Yeah, literally just S. Yep.
The S stands for Stukov.
Go get him.
Let's put him in S.
S stands for Stukov. Exactly.
There we go.
Glorious.
Third prestige, just spam bunkers. You'll be fine. Stetboy, where do we have him?
Stetmann, again, you just throw Zerglings at it. Zerglings are really bad at dying with Green Zone. And the Zerglings, yeah, if your Zerglings are dying to the laser drill, you're fine because your Zerglings are very tanky with Green Zone and don't really have to worry. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Letter.
Just, S.
S. How about you, Twotuuu?
I suppose because he's the spreading Statolites part is kind of annoying, but I guess you just throw Zerglings in front before you spread, and the Zerglings don't really care about anything. So
That'll do just fine.
S.
All right, let's put him in S. I also put Stetboy in S. Hooray, unanimous S tier. Second prestige, still the best tier. Again, let me reiterate, the first prestige does not increase the vision of your Statolites. It just increases the stat zone, which doesn't really help you with your problem of short-sighted. Let's move on. Raynor, where do we have him?
Raynor. Raynor, people think short-sighted, you can just scan, which is true, you can, but you lose a lot of money every time you do it. So it's not free. People think it's free, it's not. Unless it's P1. In that case, you're losing even more. So I think for this one, you go P3, you mass some kind of air unit, probably Banshees because they can cloak, and and get Vulture Spider Mines for the hybrid later on. And you'll clear with like the Hyperion, and you don't have to kill the laser drill, but you can. I put Raynor in B.
All right,
he's fine.
He's fine. How about you, Sticksbender?
Yeah, pretty much. He's fine. He has scan eventually, but there is an argument with taking P1 because of the fact that yes, you're losing even more mules and minerals, but at least you have double hit point infantry. But double hit point infantry isn't even necessarily the best thing against laser drill because the laser drill is just going to burn them one by one anyways, getting ramping damage the longer it fires at them. So it's better to just kind of have mules to just drop more Marines. So yeah, just use P0. B tier, you just kind of have to ramp up your orbital count enough to be able to eventually turn off the mutation. It's just you take a while to ramp up.
Yeah, I actually had Raynor in C tier because the early game is kind of annoying. When you fight, you have to if you don't scan, you lose more, and if you do scan, you're basically spending 270 minerals each. Remember, guys. If you other commanders, you build an overseer, for example, 3 of them, let's say, costs 150 minerals, 150 gas. But for Raynor, every time you scan, it costs 270 minerals because that's the mining output of a mule. So if you scan, let's say, 20 times over the course of the game, that's 5,400 lost minerals. Expensive. Anyway, both of you guys said B. Let's put it in B. Prestige. We want no prestige here. Or
just use
I think 3 is better.
3 is better?
But just
3 is better? Or 2 is better?
Well, I think 3 is better.
I guess use whichever one you
because
want.
you can clear with Hyperion.
I guess that's true, but still expensive.
You can use P3. You can use
Should be fine.
I don't think that
Hyperion
changes his rank.
Laser drill, but that takes up all of its time.
Doesn't really change his prestige, but I guess play whichever prestige caters to your playstyle. Let's move on. Nova, where do we have him?
Fun fact: technically, your Marines get slight bonus vision radius because they have an upgrade that gives them a flat amount of vision radius, which applies after short-sighted. Hooray!
Hey.
Realistically, use P3 Nova, clear literally everything without having to worry at all. Be able to push Gennaro with a super cloaked unit.
Clear the laser area. Clear the laser, and then camp Liberators on it, right?
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Letter.
P3 Nova, very good. Probably S.
Ooh, S. That's spicy.
Maybe only A.
How about you, Twotuuu?
But being able to just clear the entire map with just Nova super cloaked is good.
I can confirm. I dropped 3 nukes in this game when I played it. How about you, Twotuuu?
I put Nova in A. She gets the job done without losses. That's pretty good. I guess nothing. You're gonna push with. Well, you can clear the laser easily, and then you just camp it, and then you just pretty much deal with short-sighted, and you don't even have to really deal with anything. Your Nova unit is going to do all the work, and then when hybrids come, you drop a defense drone and use your other liberators or rest of your army to kill them, and that's it.
Yeah, what I did is just airstrike and then let the liberators finish off the rest.
Yeah.
A. What do you think, Sticksbender? Are you gonna argue for S?
Yeah, no, A makes sense. There's the S people are like really easy, whereas there's some inconvenient points, I guess, for Nova.
All right.
I can't really call it anything worse than inconvenient points.
I mean, that's not bad company. She's with Zeratul, so not bad company at all. Let's put Nova in A.
fair.
Kerrigan, where do we have him? Oh wait, third prestige, right? Third prestige.
Yes.
Kerrigan, where do we have him?
She has Omega Worms, which means you can pop a worm before you, so to tank lasers for like at least like 10 seconds,
I
right?
apologize. I'm
Quite
on
a
like
while, actually.
I'm on like 3 hours of
And then-
sleep for reasons. Right, Sticksbender? Megurms, yeah, Megurms were good. Alright, continue.
Yeah, and then P2, if you use P2, you can shock things even though you can't see them. So you can still do the hit your own Omega Worm, jump in and shock other things.
That's truly
and then
shocking.
Repeat until things die. You can also get air units, and yeah. So if Kerrigan takes some time to get to the laser, and if you have to micro a lot, and depending on what enemy comp you're fighting, like if you're fighting Vipers, then you can't use, or you might need to kill them first before you use air units, or else all your mutas die.
Yes.
If you use ultras, that's fine, I guess. That also works. I put Kerrigan in B.
Okay. How about you, Sticksbender?
Yeah, B makes sense, I suppose. Yeah, like using P2 Kerrigan and doing the zapping into the void is very good, but yeah, it's kind of just you do a lot of microing Kerrigan. It still sucks if you lose her laser drill, still annoying. Kerrigan can burrow to break laser drill concentration, but yeah, it's still annoying. Yeah, B makes sense.
All right. With the green B, let's put in B. I actually had her in A because I thought immobilization wave would just clear most of the enemies and then just unload your Zerglings. They'll finish off the rest. But you guys agree with B? Let's put her in B. What prestige should we use here? Second one? Zap Kerrigan?
Anyone really, but-
Anyone? All right, that's fine.
except the first one.
Except the first one, of course, because you need the Megworms. Let's move on. Karax, where do we have him?
He can snipe the laser drill. He can build cannons that are tanky, but that's about it. You can't permanent tank the laser drill, unfortunately. You don't get to have infinite repair on a single thing. Technically, you could spam a whole bunch of shield batteries, but you'd need tons of shield batteries for their shield regeneration rate to be high enough. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. Even though Karax can snipe the laser drill, short-sighted is just a huge pain for him. And so I think, well, no, you can use actually. No, I'm forgetting that his zealots in P2 and all that exists.
Yeah.
You know what? You just use P2 Karax.
That's what I was thinking.
You just throw zealots at the problem. You snipe the laser drill eventually. You don't even need to, but maybe you snipe it eventually. Karax should be fine. Karax should be like A.
All right. How about you, Twotuuu?
Preference on P2 Karax.
Yeah, definitely the second prestige. How about you, Twotuuu?
I use P2 Karax and Zealot, Mirage, and Carriers later. And you have so many ways to repair or get life back that you don't really care about the laser. So Sentinels revive. Mirage has the invulnerability. Anyone that gets hurt gets repaired by repair beam. So yeah, and then Carriers, if you want, have a healing drone. So I don't think you really need to care about the laser.
Yeah.
I don't think I even destroyed it. I just left it because it didn't matter. I put Karax in A.
All right. By the way, fun fact, guys. I know that this happens for Stukov. I can't confirm if it happens for Karax or Vorazun, but mind control used to retain your original vision. It's pretty helpful. I'm not sure if that applies to Karax's Energizers, but I know it applies to Stukov's Alexander. So that's something that can even help you reduce the effect of short-sighted even more. So both of you have an A?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Second prestige, Karax gets an A. Han and Horner, where do we have him?
Han and Horner. This is one where I think P3 is actually usable. I don't know if it would be the best, but it's actually usable because you can just keep striking things from afar and not suffer any losses. And you can just strike fighter all the things that hit ground, and then you have wraiths to take out air units. There might be some detectors you'll use call downs to take mag mines, or you just lose one wraith and then take them out. For attack waves, you probably kill most of them, and they won't be strong enough to kill a wraith. With that said, though, there's still B.
There's still B. I actually thought how many airstrikes do you need to destroy the laser drill?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
Yes.
That is the correct answer. All right. How about you?
damage, right? And you need 3,000.
3,030.
No, remember they get bonus against non-heroic structures, right?
Oh, then
Laser's
no.
heroic, isn't it? Is it not heroic?
I think it's heroic, which is a problem because Han and Horner's strike fighters get bonus damage against non-heroic structures.
Yeah,
So if the
so they
structure
don't-
has the heroic tag, then they don't get the bonus.
So the majority of the damage will come with the fire.
Yeah, but that'll be exceedingly slow.
That's
so
true.
basically it's like if you want to get the full fire damage, then it's going to be like 4 minutes of strike fightering to actually kill the laser drill or something ridiculous like that. So it's like, yeah, not great.
All right. So how about you, Sticksbender?
Yeah, I would still say probably use P3 because you get to just, strike fighter your problems without having to worry about going into the darkness of short-sighted. But yeah,
I would still use the first prestigier personally, but you do you.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Letter?
E probably.
All right. I did have him in C, by the way, but both of you said B. Both of you said B. Let's put him in B. Fenix, where do we have him?
Gateway units and transition to carriers, and all those don't care too much about short-sighted. Laser drill is like a little bit annoying, but if you send in Phoenix suit first to take aggro, then you just can swap out Phoenix suits, and that breaks laser drill concentration. Especially if you're sending in Praetor armor in front, it's very tanky. It's just able to deal with it. So yeah, Phoenix is fine.
Letter?
I guess he's A tier. He's like a slightly worse Karax.
Okay. How about you, Twotuuu?
I would choose P2, and you just do everything like you normally do, except you lose Caudalis a little more often than usual.
That's one way to put
And
it.
then I put not Karax. I put a Phoenix in A.
All right. They are best friends after all, Phoenix and Karax. All right. Both of you have an A. Let's put him in A. Actually, yeah, I also put Phoenix in A. No, I lied. I put him in B. But A is fine. I actually thought... do you guys want to summon the first set of hybrid before 7 minutes so that you don't get the big 7-minute wave? Because remember, Fenix isn't great against air. So do you want to summon the first hybrid before the 7-minute wave? Or do you just fight the 7-minute wave?
The hybrid wave can have a flying hybrid in it, so...
That's true. But it's kind of less devastating to your base, but point taken. So
It's pretty devastating to your base if you lose the game.
That's also true. Well, not really. Not necessarily. If you just lose the game because of Janara being an idiot, then you technically can still have your base. But anyway, it's not relevant.
Technically still have your base, but like, yeah. Anyways.
That's not relevant. Anyway, so yeah, so you just fight the 7-minute wave. I still prefer summoning the first hybrid either way, actually.
With P2, I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're gonna get Mojo and Warbringer and like Talus eventually.
All right then, you say so.
You it's the same as normal. You just lose more than usual. so if you're fighting air comp, you make like extra starports. You just need Mojo more than the others.
All right, that's fair. Let's move on. Dehaka, where do we have him?
Dehaka has creeper hosts, so even if you can't farm early on, once you get a pack leader, like you just kill everything, you can expand, and then creeper hosts destroy everything around the map.
Yeah.
And Doc Run kills the laser for you, so you just summon Doc Run. He gets hit by the laser, and then the laser will just stop shooting because the damage is reflected to the laser, and the laser goes down, and then you're free. I put Dehaka in A.
All right. How about you, Sticksbender?
I would have almost considered Dehaka for S, but yeah, early Essence farming is extremely painful. So yeah, A is fine, I guess. I will note, you can't really do early Essence farming. You just use P2 and just accept that you will come online once you get pack leaders, and then pack leaders will do everything.
Yeah. Plus, another thing I like about Dehaka is just with the creepers being burrowed units, they can just burrow at Janara, and if the enemy doesn't have vision, they can just not get laser drilled. That's pretty neat. Anyway.
Yay.
Yeah, both of you had him in A. I did have him in A also. It's unanimous. Let's put him in A. Artanis, where do we have him?
Let's see. Artanis he has solar bombardment to snipe the laser drill if you really want to. That used to be a lot better back when the laser drill didn't respawn, but now the laser drill respawn timer is a lot faster than solar bombardment cooldown, so it's not really useful. So instead what you do, you use solar bombardment on hybrid. It is very good at cleaning out the hybrid spawns when they come. It is not very good for pushing bases. It is not worth it to obliterate the laser drill. You use it to clear out the hybrid. Other than that, yeah, it's mostly... Other than that, it's mostly just
Pain.
you just make gateway units. They have some health. Throw them at the issue. It's
Pain.
remember the whole bad Karax thing from what I said for non P2 Phoenix. It's the same thing for Artanis. You're like even slightly worse Phoenix than Karax. So I guess you could move him down to B. You could also argue he just gets to stay in A anyways.
All right.
Either way.
How about you, Twotuuu?
I don't think he's that good. Your units they're gonna keep
Getting
like
lasered.
Guardian Shell. I use P0. Guardian Shell is fine. I'm not sure how it would fare against a stronger comp. Like if the enemies also have good AoE or something and you can't really see them, then what will you do? You have observers, yes. If they snipe your observers, then you can't see far. You do just solar bombardment, hybrid, but that I think you kind of need to time them well. Like you have to clear at the pace so that your solar bombardment lines up with when the hybrids spawn, or at least like if you push too fast, then you can't use it. You can't just send in one zealot to use solar. You need like 3, maybe even 4 to solar.
Yeah, just to survive.
And if you don't solar the right spot, which I kill like most things, I still have to go in and fight.
I thought you said you had Guardian Shell, so you literally do only need one zealot.
No, they get hit before because enemy has long range, so
Yeah.
you get hit and.
Are you not using War Paste?
No, but you still like I can't see them, so I don't know the right spot, and I have to get closer. And if there are enemies that are in the way, then I can't get close to the hybrid.
They can pass through units while using Whirlwind. So if you have to do it manually to make them Whirlwind, like they should do it automatically. But you can do it manually if you have to. Your zealot should literally be able to get from for the third hybrid set, for example, you should be able to get from like the expansion to that third hybrid area. Even if they start getting hit like right when you warp them in at your expansion, the Guardian Shell should last long enough that they should just be able to get in there and give you vision of the hybrid so you can solar bombardment them.
The interesting thing is in your run, you send 3 every time. So
yeah, I can see that. To be fair, I will note that
You just got judo flipped.
Yes. Supposedly they fixed the bug where hybrid just bypassed Guardian Shell. I don't know if that's actually true or not. Allegedly they fixed it, so I am going off that assumption. At that time, I sent 3 because I was tired of time. But like I did it like even in non-mutations because I was tired of things where it's like I'm gonna send one zealot to solar bombardment and then a hybrid just kills it.
And that's the thing. There's risk.
Procs, and I get annoyed.
There's risk in sending only 1. It's a safer play to send 3. It's
just
safe.
send 3. Whatever. Point is, it's 200 minerals. Who cares? Send 3.
Yeah.
The point is, it shouldn't be hard to get solar bombardment vision. You can also just like send your army that way. The hybrid will clump up more because they're actually actively fighting something. Then your army is going to take a bit of damage, but also things are going to be more clumped up, so your solar bombardment gets better value.
That's true.
Shield overcharge is really good, and you should always be fighting with shield overcharge, not without shield overcharge. And shield overcharge is a 400 hit point shield. Technically it's 380, but basically 400 for basically 40 seconds, 380 for 38 seconds. So you should be able to only have to really fight during the uptime of shield overcharge, at which point your units are very bad at dying. If you use P3, you have more uptime on shield overcharge, but you lose Guardian Shell. So if you want to keep Guardian Shell is kind of useful here. It's better for getting vision for solar bombardments. It's a little bit easier to push Janara if you have the laser drill getting forced to retarget by Guardian Shell. I don't think he's bad at all. I would say that he's like only very slightly worse than Karax and Fenix, so I don't feel like he's a whole tier worse.
All right. You said B. I put him in C, but I think I'll
put him in B because I'm putting him in B because I'll be honest, he is slightly worse than them, so we can move him down a tier. But because if you do 3 steps of this guy and then slightly worse is this guy and then slightly worse is this guy, I feel like the bottom guy probably should be down a tier because if someone's not getting the whole explanation, it's a little better to show that this guy is actually the one who goes down.
Okay.
But he's pretty similar to them. He could be A. I think B is fine.
All right. Are we putting him in B?
B is fine.
All right. B is fine. So do you use third prestige or no prestige?
I think no prestige is better.
Use Guardian Shell?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
if you have Guardian Shell, their long range takes out your observers and stuff, and then you can't see for a while.
That's true. I still personally think he's C because I fight against Vipers. They're very annoying, especially if you have short-sighted anyway, and they have long range too. It's so annoying to fight Vipers. Oh my goodness.
It's mostly Zealot, Templar, and then with some Dragoons.
I guess that makes it slightly less bad. Anyway, Artanis and B, no prestige. Let's move on. Arcturus, where do we have him?
He can first ESO from home safely, clear all the things at the expo, and then build ESOs at the expo, and then clear everything else. So, takes some time, but doable. You can build in the space north of the northern expo, or the northern expo, that space, because then Gennaro won't have vision up there, and you can bombard the laser from there, and then throw some bunkers, and then keep the laser in check. A.
Nice. How about you, Sticksbender?
Yep, he's able to do it easily with ESOs, kind of like the S tier people, except the people who are actually in S tier are able to do it without even putting in effort. They just A move, so he's A tier.
All right.
Science.
All right. Yeah. So, do you want the first prestige or no prestige? Or sorry, third prestige or first prestige?
First prestige.
First prestige. You just want lots of Earth Splitters. All right. Let's put Arcturus in A. Alarak, where do we have him?
Alarak. You don't need to see your enemies to angrily wave your arms at them. Hooray.
True.
Other than that, you can use Ascendants. They don't need to see their enemies to orb them to death either. Just make sure that Alarak himself stays in front so that you can take advantage of, how
The lightning blast.
how he can continue eating supplicants. You will want to actually wait. No, right? Because if you have Alarak in front, continually eating supplicants, then the laser drill is going to ramp its damage. So you actually want to have the supplicants getting hit.
It's kind of
So
funny.
never mind. I literally do the opposite of what I just said. Use Deadly Charge to pull Alarak back when he's getting hit by the laser drill, so the supplicants are getting hit. Other than that, you have tanking with supplicants. You have damage with Ascendant Orbs and Alarak waving his arms that goes into the Fog of War.
And then while you're
That
at it,
should be good.
while you're at it, replace the name Deadly Charge with Cowardly Retreat. All
Yeah,
right,
something like that.
something like that. Letter.
I feel like he can probably be A tier. Maybe he should be A, honestly.
Okay, how about you, Twotuuu?
Long range Terran is a nightmare, and he is like basically melee, and his mothership, like if you're fighting Goliaths or something, they're gonna get shot from so far away. Mothership's 10 range doesn't work if you can't see them. Laser drill, the usual problem of Alarak, if he gets hit by the laser drill for too long, he's going to start eating his whole army. And that's kind of annoying. And then Ascendants being, I guess mostly they're not going to get hit. But early on, you don't have them. And you got to fight 7-minute wave. I guess you have overcharge for that. You have overcharge. So that's okay. You have to really keep your Ascendants alive, though. I don't think he has that much trouble, but it's the whole laser thing, and short-sighted causing Alarak to take more hits than he usually does means he's going to eat his army a lot faster than you might be used to. So I put him in B.
What do you think, Sticksbender?
I mean, I guess that's fair, all of that, to be honest. So, sure. B is fine. It's not like he can't really handle it, but it might be like a little bit more
Annoying,
punishing, volatile than you're used to.
All right, that's fair. I had Alarak in A, by the way, but both of you are okay with B. Let's put him in B. Abathur, where do I have him? Oh wait,
Abathur.
Shadow of Death. There we go. Abathur, where do I have him?
Abathur's farming is
Shadow
just
of
like
Death, probably.
you just can't.
You just can't.
But so what you kind of have to do is you dump Toxic Nest at the ramps, so you take out the first wave. You can also take out the 7-minute wave with Toxic Nest. You kill most of the things, and if you're fighting air comp by 7 minutes, you should have a Brutalist. If not, you just make some Spores. And although Spores might not hit them because of long range, but it'll hit some of them at least. Once you get a Brutalist or enough stuff, you can kind of shuffle them, but it's still kind of annoying. I'm not sure where to put him. I think he might be a C candidate for this one. I put him in B, but I'm not opposed to C.
Okay, how about you, Sticksbender?
Yeah, I feel like C makes sense for Abathur. Laser drill and short-sighted is going to be painful, keeping your key units alive.
I was also torn between B and C. Like, I was starting like,
I'd say
it's so
C.
hard.
I'd say C.
I want to see how I did this.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
C.
It was so long.
all right, but well, that's happening. Both of you are okay with C. I was
Yeah.
okay with C actually, so let's put him in C. So we're at tournament events. Abathur and Tychus rounding at the bottom. When does that happen? Only here apparently. Okay, so do we have a double S tier this week? I'm kind of almost tempted to say Zagara or Stukov are double S. Is that crazy?
Yeah, if it's between Zagara and Stukov, it would be Stukov.
I guess we once again have the question of, is it better to clear fast or better to just not care at all? I guess in this case, it might be better to not care at all. So do we have a double S or not?
No.
No.
Because they kind of have to worry. Ah, that's what I did. Okay.
All right.
It's less to me. I feel like it's less that like they kind of have to worry, and more accurate to say that both of them care, like both of them equally care so little.
That's
that, like,
true. All right. So who? Which one of them is top? Stetboy's bottom of S, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So I guess you can just
Stukov's top.
Stukov's top, then Zagara, then Stetboy. Fair.
Yes.
Who's top of A?
Nova.
Nova. I can see that. I did play Nova. I kind of played really bad. You should watch that video, guys. Played really bad as Nova. But like I made it look like a joke anyway. Like Nova just walking casually toward the nuke base, dropping a nuke, or the laser drill base, dropping a nuke there, and then just dropping liberators out of the sky, and then saying, "I don't want to play laser drill anymore." There you go. And then just for the rest of the game, oh hey, an attack wave, airstrike, not anymore, and then liberators for the hybrid, and then 30 minutes later, oh that was a game. I played really bad, but like it's still a joke. Anyway, so Nova top A.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking kind of Zeratul, but okay. Who's second in A? Oh, Dehaka, because the Krun can make the laser.
Yeah, Dehaka is also probably. The early game just feels so like bad to me. Is the only thing I have like on Dehaka is like, oh, the early game feels so atrocious.
The first wave, you have like nothing except like uprooted wardens and Dehaka.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And maybe one primal worm, greater primal worm.
Okay, so who's second in A? Is it Karax?
Might be Karax, to be honest.
Yeah, the Zealot thing and the carrier thing. Like, what mutation? Almost. That's why he's not S. So Karax second in A?
Yeah.
Are we sure Nova better than Karax?
Nova is definitely the best.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Like, there's no question there. Nova was an S candidate for a reason. Nova, then Karax.
Zeratul, or Dehaka? Or Phoenix?
Probably Zeratul, Phoenix, Dehaka. Might be Phoenix higher than Zeratul. I'm not sure who's higher between Phoenix and Zeratul.
And where does Arcturus fit into this? Is he at the bottom of A?
Oh, right. Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Manx, he's... Actually, you know what? Manx is probably the next one after...
Yeah.
After who? After Karax?
Karax? Either after Karax or Nova. I think it's after Nova, actually.
After Nova? So Nova, Arcturus, Karax. Really? I think it's actually Karax before Arcturus. Because your Earth Splitters can still get attacked by, the waves and stuff.
Yeah, and you do still have to actually push the objective, which is a little annoying. And by a little annoying, I mean, like, you can make a cloaked medevac and call it a day, but,
Yeah. So...
You're going to bomb the drill, right? It's going to be down most of the time.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you'll bomb it eventually, but, like, it has a 2-minute respawn time, and nukes have a 5-minute cooldown. So you want to be using ESOs to drop it, not top bar. And for ESOs to drop it, you need to... Well, no, you can reach it from the expansion. You clear the expansion pretty early. Yeah, never mind. It makes second, I think.
All right. Nova, Arcturus, Karax, Zeratul, Phoenix, Dehaka?
Yeah, that sounds more like it.
All right.
Maybe Phoenix right after Karax instead of Zeratul. I'm not sure.
Are we sure? I guess the early game is really what spells it for Dehaka. I guess that's fair.
Yeah, the early game is just so painful for Dehaka. Past the early game, you're fine, but like the early game is almost like arguably bad enough to drop him a tier. Like it's bad.
That's fair. Okay, let's move on. Who's top of B?
I would say it's Artanis personally, but
Really?
because like to me he was only in B because it's like it felt like he needed a little more distinction from Karax and non-P2 Phoenix, but they're like all the same. And I think P2 Phoenix and non-P2 Phoenix are roughly on par with each other here.
I was going to say Swann because the whole middle is just gone.
The whole middle is gone. And Wraith...
The whole middle is gone, assuming you actually, know how to... Well, it's not that hard to line up.
You line up one randomly, and then the next one's just next
chain
to
them
it.
together.
And you just chain them. It's just a line.
Yes, and Raiders are really good. It almost doesn't matter. The vision
They
almost doesn't
also
matter
evade.
because they also evade, and you can just kind of rush the laser drill if you want to with the Wraiths.
You can.
You can.
I still think I like Artanis better. Having observers that are, technically Wraiths have cloak, but observer is permanent cloak, so you can just have one parked over Janara. Although Swann can do the mass repair factory to tank the laser drill for all eternity, so there is that. Yeah.
I think having the swiftness and the nimbleness of Swann's army, or specifically Swann's Wraith fleet, it's just, I don't know, for me it feels way better than moving a clunky, massive gateway units.
I think the thing that seals the deal is the concentrated beam, not having to fight the strong base in the middle, no matter what race you're fighting.
Yes, it's
Yeah, that's the concentrated beam thing is the one thing that's like, yeah, you got something there.
true. All right, so Swann top of B.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
So it's Swann then Artanis. Like Artanis was it was between Artanis and Swann. It's not someone else competing with them there.
Not Vorazun?
All right.
I really like the time stop.
Yeah,
thing.
I would not say Vorazun.
Really?
I would not say Vorazun next.
Time stop pretty good.
Time stop is good.
You can skip the last objective.
You can, however, yeah, I would say that Vorazun comes after Artanis. As much as Vorazun is solid with the whole time stop allowing you to clear things out. Artanis also has really good top bars, so I'd say Artanis' top bar is actually better than Vorazun's. You have more tankier units, and the reality is this is a mutation where you are going to be tanking and face checking, not avoiding getting hit at all. So I'm confident saying Vorazun's relatively lower. Let's see, who else do we have in B tier?
Raynor, Kerrigan, Horner, Alarak.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like Alarak might be Artanis and then Alarak, maybe?
Before Vorazun?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like Vorazun isn't even that good.
Isn't even that good.
If I'm being honest.
If you're not fighting around Janara, Vorazun kind of sucks.
Pretty much, yeah. Because Vorazun hates short-sighted quite a bit, so...
Yes. So what, Alarak after Artanis?
After Artanis. So yeah, Yeah, we have Swann, Artanis, Alarak, Kerrigan, Raynor, Vorazun, Han, and Horner, maybe?
Okay with that.
Okay.
So who's better between Tychus and Abathur?
Huh. It's the early game versus late game thing.
Oh, early game is always
Actually-
more important. Because in the late game,
That's true.
your ally will probably be online. You're right? You'd think that your ally would be online by the time the late game approaches. So early game is more important.
Oh.
So Tychus, Abathur?
I think if you know what to do, Abathur is gonna be better, but Tychus is easier to use.
Tychus is always easier to use, so yeah, Tychus Abathur I think is fine.
Alright, so that's our ranking for this week. Do we have synergies of guys who are B or lower? Who would be better than Stet Boy on his own? With his allies' workers?
Let's see.
Swann Kerrigan?
It's hard to think of direct synergies here, really.
Raynor Artanis?
I guess. I don't know.
This is better than
that's just their
Stetboy, though.
standard, their generic synergy of Raynor with shield overcharge a lot.
Is that better than Stet Boy on his own? That's the question. Or Raynor Tychus? Raynor just provides division.
No one Tychus. No one with Tychus, I don't think.
No one with Tychus?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, I guess not. Zerglings are really that. Oh, yeah, Kerrigan has Zerglings. And the Megrams too. So
Honestly, I feel like Vorazun Artanis, Raynor Artanis, he's a pretty okay. He's pretty okay. Swann is good, but doesn't have direct
synergy.
Well, okay, no, actually, you could also argue for something with someone who can take advantage of the fact that Swann gets to just disable the laser drill permanently with. But other people can disable. Yeah, I guess Tychus. Yeah.
Or Abathur even. So Abathur can actually lure in the early game.
Artanis and Vorazun with the classics, just synergy by raw Artanis and Vorazun having synergy. I don't know.
Is that better than Stet Boy on his own though? Stet Boy's really good. Probably, you think?
Stetmann's good, but better than Stetmann soloing easily. Stetmann soloing with an ally just giving workers easily.
Alright then.
So,
if you say so. Alright guys, watch Twotuuu Sticksbender's channels. I will link them down below and I'll see you guys next time.